Frank Delaney spent 5 years in a Grand Design Solitude. He loved that trailer so much he talked his neighbor into buying one too. It was paid off, no payments left, no reason to trade it in. Last spring, he traded it anyway for a Brinkley Model G, and he paid more out the door than his old rig was even worth on trade. He is not the only one doing this. Owners across Grand Design forums are doing the same math and landing on the same answer. They are walking away from a paid-off trailer to spend more money on a brand most shoppers have never even heard of. Nobody does that over a nicer floor plan. What Frank found out is now the subject of a federal investigation, and once you hear it, you will understand exactly why he left. Back in September of 2024, a research group called Hunter Brook Media dropped an investigation with a blunt title, Grand Deception. What they found was a pattern of widespread frame failure in the Solitude and Momentum fifth wheels. It was possibly touching thousands of units, sold for more than $1 billion combined. This was not some cosmetic rattle to shrug off. Hunter Brook described damage bad enough to create safety hazards and in some cases leave the RV completely unroadworthy. Grand Design is not some side project Winnebago can quietly write off either. It brings in roughly 35% of the parent company's entire revenue. So when something goes wrong here, it is not happening on the edge of the business. It is happening at the core. The part that should really bother you is what Hunter Brook says happened next. Their review of settlement paperwork and deleted online posts pointed to a pattern. Non-disclosure agreements, buybacks, quiet removal of complaints, tactics that may have crossed into breaking consumer protection laws. Think about what that actually does to a shopper doing normal research. You search the brand, you find mostly praise, and you assume the praise reflects the real ownership experience. If that praise was shaped behind the scenes, your research was never giving you the full picture to begin with. One independent repair shop told Hunter Brook that 70% of the Grand Design units it inspects come in with frame problems. That is not a rumor from an angry forum post. It is a shop with a lift and a service bay reporting what actually rolls through its doors week after week on units that were sold as ready for the road. The federal government did not ignore this. On October 9, 2024, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration opened a formal investigation. It covers 55,887 Momentum and Solitude fifth wheels built between 2017 and 2023. The agency's own paperwork on the case points to 23 formal complaints tied to the investigation, and 22 of those describe cargo or entry doors flying open while the RV was being towed down the highway. One of those cases involved an injury. That is not something to shrug off. Winnebago's response on the record was that the frames came from Lippert, a supplier used widely across the RV industry, and CEO Michael Hoppe called the online reports misinformation during a June 2024 earnings call. Investors did not seem convinced. Winnebago shares dropped more than 2% that same day. Wall Street does not usually punish a stock over misinformation. It punishes a stock when it thinks the underlying claim might actually be true. If Grand Design was paying off owners' loans in exchange for silence, then some of the loudest praise you have read online for this brand may not be coming from happy customers at all. It may be coming from customers who were never allowed to say anything else or who simply stopped talking. A glowing 5-star thread does not prove the frames are fine. It might only prove that the people with the worst stories got bought out and told to stay quiet. Winnebago actually confirmed to Hunter Brook that its settlements include a confidentiality clause and a clause saying owners could not badmouth the company, though Winnebago called that very standard for a settlement. Standard or not, it changes how much weight you can put on what you read online, and it raises a bigger question nobody has answered yet. Who is actually building the brand that people are running toward instead? If stories like this are the reason you check twice before buying, go ahead and subscribe now, because this channel exists to surface what dealers and manufacturers hope buyers never hear. Now follow the money, because this is where the story stops sounding like a bargain and starts sounding like insurance. Brinkley RVs are not the cheap alternative here. By most owner and dealer accounts, comparable Brinkley trims tend to run at or above similar Grand Design models, not below them. Buyers are not paying extra for nicer cabinets or a bigger television. They are paying extra to walk away from a brand carrying a documented frame problem and an open federal investigation. That is not the kind of purchase most people are used to making. Most of the time, paying more means you get more stuff. Here, paying more means you are buying distance from a specific documented problem. That is worth pausing on before you assume the higher price tag is a bad deal. Grand Design's own response to the pressure was real. In May of 2024, the company announced it was extending its structural frame warranty from 3 years to 5 years, going back to cover 2020 model year units and forward. In July of 2024, that coverage was made transferable to future owners too, which matters a lot on the used market. Give credit where it is due. That is a solid concession, not a throwaway press release. A 5-year structural warranty that follows the trailer to the next owner is the kind of thing that actually shows up in resale value down the road. But notice the timing. It arrived only after the Hunter Brook report went public and owner pressure kept building, not before. A company fixing a problem after it gets caught is still fixing it, and owners with covered units genuinely benefit from that. But it tells you something about how the decision got made. Worth remembering the next time a company tells you a policy change was simply the plan all along. Run the real math over a 10-year ownership window. A higher sticker price attached to a brand with no open federal investigation and no documented frame pattern can end up cheaper than a lower price attached to repair bills, resale worries, and paperwork you have to explain to the next buyer. The discount on a Grand Design today might just be an advance payment on problems you have not met yet. Here is the reveal Frank's story was building toward the whole time. Brinkley RV was not started by outsiders trying to break into an industry they did not understand. It was founded in 2022 by 5 co-owners, all RV industry veterans, based in Goshen, Indiana, the same town where a lot of American RV manufacturing already happens. Ron Fennick, former senior group president at Thor Industries, was also a co-founder of Grand Design RV, and he now serves Brinkley in an advisory role. His brother Bill Fennick, another Grand Design co-founder, joined Brinkley's ownership later that same year. Nate Goldenberg and Micah Staley, both former Grand Design general managers, now run Brinkley's day-to-day operations. Ryan Thwaites, formerly with Red Rock Supply and Indiana Transport, rounds out the founding group. Put plainly, the people who built Grand Design's original reputation are the same people who walked away once Winnebago's ownership era began. They built a direct competitor from the ground up. Think about what that means for the years Frank spent loving his solitude. He was not wrong to trust that badge back then. The people who earned that trust were still running the company at the time. What changed was ownership, not his judgment. That badge on the side of a Grand Design does not mean the same builders are still behind it today. And that is easy to miss when the name on the door never changes. But a badge alone does not prove Brinkley deserves your trust either, just because familiar names are attached to it. So who is actually building these trailers right now, and is there anything behind the name besides a good story? Brinkley operates a 252-acre campus in Goshen, Indiana, near the Elkhart County Fairgrounds, with 3 production buildings totaling roughly 175,000 square feet each. Construction on that campus began back in 2022, and this is not a garage operation testing the waters. The 5 co-owners each bring around 2 decades of RV industry experience. Inside the company, they are described as serial entrepreneurs who have already built and sold other companies before this one. On the construction side, Brinkley uses frameless, squared-off windows built in an automotive style, and in several places the company has done away with exterior sealants entirely, using rivets instead of screws to hold panels together. That is a construction choice, not a marketing line. The track record backs it up too. Brinkley won the RVDADSI Quality Circle Award for a 3rd year in a row in 2025, and its Model 1 was named 2025 RV of the Year by RV Business. Those are not participation trophies. Both come from people inside the industry who inspect these units closely, not a marketing department writing its own praise. These founders are betting their own names and money on getting it right the second time, in the same town where they built the first reputation. Brinkley is not immune to the same forces that hit Grand Design. Some current and prospective owners on forums openly worry Brinkley could follow the exact same path. Strong build quality early, then strain once production ramps up and dealer demand grows. Brinkley recently extended its exterior seals package warranty from 1 year to 3 years, and that cuts both ways. It helps buyers, but it also admits that seal problems were showing up around the 1 year mark. Some early buyers have said the price premium has not always matched the fit and finish they expected on every single unit. None of that makes Brinkley a bad choice. It makes Brinkley an unproven one, and scale is the actual test here, not the sales pitch. That test is still running right now in real time. Grand Design deserves the same fairness. It still holds one of the largest positions in the fifth wheel segment. With a decade-plus reputation and a dealer network Brinkley cannot match yet in size or reach. That 5-year retroactive frame warranty transferable to future owners is a legitimate and solid response, not just damage control dressed up for the cameras. Buying a Grand Design today is not automatically buying the exact same risk described in that 2024 reporting, especially on post-2020 units now sitting under that extended warranty. The smart move here is not blind avoidance of the whole brand. It comes down to inspection and paperwork, checking build dates, checking warranty transfer documents, and asking direct questions before you sign anything. Frank Delaney's decision makes a lot more sense now than it did at the start of this story. He was not chasing a trend or falling for a flashy sales pitch. A brand name printed on the side of an RV does not guarantee that the people who earned that name are still the ones building the product underneath it. Grand Design's badge was built by people who left the company years ago. Brinkley's badge is being built right now by the same hands that made Grand Design worth trusting in the first place, and that badge still has to prove itself over time just like any other. The paid-off trailer Frank walked away from was not the mistake. Staying loyal to a badge without checking who is actually behind it, that would have been the mistake, and it is a mistake plenty of shoppers are still making right now without even knowing it. So here is what to actually do with all of this before you sign anything. Check who currently owns and builds the brand you are looking at, not just who founded it decades ago. Look up whether there are any open federal investigations or active recalls tied to the specific model and model year you are considering. Read the warranty terms yourself instead of trusting a dealer's summary, and confirm in writing whether that warranty transfers if you sell the unit later. None of that takes more than a quiet afternoon at your kitchen table, and it can save you thousands of dollars and a lot of frustration down the road. Tell us in the comments if you have made a switch like this yourself, brand to brand, and what actually pushed you to do it.